All right, let's wrap this up with one that I think everybody who got to see it enjoyed, and that is Women Talking, the latest from writer director Sarah Polley, about a group of women in an isolated religious colony struggling to reconcile their faith with a string of sexual assaults committed by the colony's men. Very interesting film that sees these amazing actresses essentially sitting down and settling their differences of opinion and how they can move forward, how they're supposed to continue to exist in safe accommodations given their situation. And I think it's a very surprising movie in several respects. Part of the surprise is just like figuring out where and when things are. I think there's just these nuances to the depiction of it that I wasn't expecting coming in. And ultimately, like, I think the thing that I really resonated with was how much this film gives time to letting you understand all of its characters and all the different perspectives of its different characters, that there aren't just like two sides to a story, that everybody has their own intricacies to how they view a situation. Jeff, this was actually the film that we met after.
All right, yeah.
What was your takeaway from Women Talking?
Yeah, Carson and I definitely had a better seat than you at the theater.
It was very close. I was watching the movie like that for the most part.
Oof.
But this film is so much more than, most films, just about the art of acting. Because it's almost set up like a stage play in that it's, primarily in like one location, and it's just people having just interactions within a group in one space.
Yeah.
And it all is reliant on the acting, and it's just acted so well.
It's a very like monologue-y movie. I feel like a lot of people might be able to take sections of this movie for their like acting classes and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's also like you have Claire Foy, you have Jessie Buckley, you have Rooney Mara, you have Judith Ivey, who I thought was excellent in this movie. Just really, really giving you depth to these characters.
Yeah. It's funny like that we just talked about The Whale, because I think this is, compared to that, a very good example of like taking a very wordy kind of stage play. I don't think this was based off a play. It was a shorts. A book. Right. Okay. So like, I don't know, just put that onto the screen in a much more interesting way than The Whale, in my opinion. Like, I think this has some phenomenal editing, like does some cutaways that really worked for me, keeps the room very interesting, the way they shoot the characters. I don't know. It was just like way more fascinating than I expected it to be for being like mostly conversation, that I just thought really worked like as a film rather than just like, the script. One of the things that we talked about when we were leaving the theater is like the way that they're able to really give the movie a sense of urgency. This takes place mostly over the course of one night, and they kind of have this ticking clock element in terms of having to figure things out before a certain thing happens. And, just like the way in which they're able to kind of give you all these ideas and show you sort of the stakes of the situation without it feeling too manipulative, too fake, too exploitative. It just kind of feels like a very natural lived-in conversation where these women who don't necessarily have the best options available to them are trying to make do and trying to ensure that what they have, what their daughters will have, is better than what they had before. So I don't know. I thought this was fascinating. And like you were saying, the script, I think it's just an excellent, excellent script. The writing is just crackerjack stuff. I was riveted the whole way through, even in the moments when the film sort of intentionally slows down. There's something really alive to the whole thing. Amanda, you were a fan of his as well?
Yeah, I was. I was just going to make a terrible joke of like, wow, an awful lot of men talking here.
We left the women talking to the end.
No, I thought it basically just the same thing that you guys were saying, that I think for me, the most interesting part was realizing that this isn't this wasn't really like a historical period piece.
Right.
Yeah.
That it's like this specific community and how that could have left them open to more not manipulation but exploitation than in a lot of other situations where like technically they're on the cusp of being able to get to something better and to a completely different life, and a life that they can only dream of knowing or understanding, something that would feel so far removed from them and their faith. But versus it being like a historical period piece where you might just be leaving from like one situation that's exactly the same to another situation that's exactly the same. But that's almost like the horrific aspect of this, is that some of these people are genuinely concerned for like what's going to happen to their soul if they don't make amends in certain ways, if they don't offer forgiveness for certain things that have happened when people haven't even offered up apologies for what have happened, and would rather just let it, fester, or would still be trying to get away with it. So I thought it was incredibly powerful in that respect, and just great performances out of everyone, just really captivating for something that again is just people in a room talking. So yeah, big fan, liked it a lot.